So in this session, we are going to continue with the probability distributions and start with the new separate group, which is continuous random variables. So just to recap about all these modules. So in this module, we have started with the basics of probability distribution and gone into some uh, discrete distributions such as Bernoulli's binomial and Poisson's. In this session, we are going to start with the continuous random variable. The first one and the most important one is the normal distribution. So why do we say it is the most important? This is because you'll understand in just a second. So in the production time or any when we are going to measure some parts or the dimensions of a parts which are manufactured in a factory, almost all the measurements which we do in this real time in this world, almost all of those will follow a normal distribution. What does that mean is, if we were aiming to make a part of dimension of 50 mm, that the measurements or the manufactured part, the measurements of that dimension will normally distribute around that mean of 50. So they will have approximately equal number of distribution points less than 50 and more than 50 mm, or and the closeness of points will be very much high. The density of points, data points, will be close to 50, which is the mean. And as we go farther from the mean, the density of those data points will reduce drastically. So we'll go into this, and let's use JASP. So it is again advisable to use JASP along with me and keep practicing this. So in the earlier video, we ended over here where we were doing Poisson distribution. So we have a data set with us, and that data set was imported from here. Open data library, and under data library we have various modules, and under ninth module we have the distributions, and under that distribution we have almost all the uh, different random variables with us. So this is the first three columns representing normal, and we can get the distributions over here. If it is not visible, you can go to plus button over here and check the distribution box. So we can make a normal distribution come, and the basics are over here. So we have a combination of two variables actually, which I have shown earlier in my presentation also, that we have two variables generally, mean and standard deviation, or variance sometimes. Both doesn't matter, both have a relation, standard deviation and mean. So variance, so we have that combination, or we can have some different combination where we can have some precision used, right? So those are generally not used. So what we will restrict ourselves to mean and standard deviation or variance. And this is the ideal plot. So generally the 97% of my data points will lie between -3 to 3 if my mean is at 0. If my mean goes off to some other points, this value of mean and the variance will guide me to in which range my most of the data points will lie. I can obviously change it to -5 or -6 to +6, and that will indicate a larger distance for me. So this is how it can be seen. But we can see that till -3 to 3, most of my data points are lie. If I change my mean to some other points, my data will be centered to that new mean. So now I can see that the data has been centered to some other place. It is not visible because of this reason, that my mean has gone to 20, but range which I am displaying on my plot is -6 to 6. So I should change it from 1 or maybe 0 to 100. Now we can see it much more better. So it is centered towards 20 and standard deviation is 1. So we can play around and understand the meaning of standard deviation with the plot. So if I go on increasing my standard deviation or variance, my plot becomes spreaded out. So if I increase it further to 25, it will spread out much more than that. If I make it smaller, like 0.1, it will be much more sharp. It will come close to each other. The data points will be closer. That means that is the actual value or representative value of the meaning of the variance. Then we can obviously turn on this explanatory text and parameters first. And we can see that the parameters, two parameters we have are mean and variance. If I change those parameters from here, the parameters will change over here also. But these are the most standard ones which we generally use. And the x value will change from all real number values from minus infinite to infinite. And my moments, so my first moment, that is the expected value of x, is same as my mu, which is the mean, and the variance of x is same as the standard deviation squared. So this is the most easiest to visualize, and all the definitions are given over here. Cumulative distribution function is defined over here, and we can see that it goes from 0. So it's almost 0. We cannot say it is 0. It will be obviously 0 only at minus infinite, and it will be obviously plus at 1 at plus infinite. But we can approximate and say that my 97% or the most of my data points lie between plus minus 3 sigma away from the mean. So if my mean is lying at 20, 97% of my data points will be between plus minus 3 times the standard deviation about the mean. So if I take the standard deviation as 1, hence the variance is also 1, my 97% of the data will be between 17 and 23. So that's what the meaning. And we can put the density and probabilities also. So let us just, okay, -6 to +6. This is better for our representation purpose. And they have shown the density values. Now we can also show the probability values. So between 0 to 1, my probability is 0.34. So now you can appreciate how easily you can find the value of those probabilities. And as I said, it is equally distributed about the mean. So if I take 0 to infinite, if I take 0 to infinite, my probability is going to be exactly 0.5. So it should update. Okay, is it updating? No. Okay, no, it is not updating. I don't know, but that's what the meaning is. So if I take 0 to 100,000, my probability will be exact almost 0.5, and that's what 0 to infinite will have exactly 0.5. Minus infinite to 0 will have exactly 0.5. So that's what is for the ideal normal distribution. Now let's use a data set to understand what will change with a non-ideal data points. So if I have 10 data points in a data set, my mean is somewhere here and variance is 0.69, and all the descriptives are listed. I can again put other two moments, first two moments. So again, the moments can be used to estimate the mean again. So this is the first moment is exactly equal to the mean, and variance can be calculated using the second moment and the first moment. We can go for higher number of data points from here. So we have now 100 data points. We can have 1000 data points if required to have closer values of means and variance estimated. And they have given an estimate that ideally my data set now means that mean mu is equal to 0, and actually it is coming very close to 0, and sigma, that is the standard deviation, is very close to 1 as seen from the descriptives. I can put on the histogram to locate my data points and the cumulative distribution, which will add up my previous data points to the next coming data points. I can again estimate my parameters. So the maximum likelihood parameter can be estimated, and I can put the confidence interval as per my choice of 1 to 100, anything. And a confidence interval of 100 will mean my all the parameters whole range. So if I want a complete confidence over whatever I am estimating, if I need a estimate which will include all the possibilities, that means I should have a range which is the largest, because my mean or variance will lie between minus infinite to infinite. And if I want 100% confidence on my estimation, that means that should be the interval. If I need a smaller amount of confidence, I will have a more closer estimate of the parameter. And we can see the statistics which will check the normality of my plot, and these are also the plots which will check the normality of my data points. So that's all over here. You can play around with this and understand how things will change with different values of mu and sigma. And that's all. Thank you.